As the sun set, the air grew cold and clear. In exchange, the moon showed its face, the streets gradually dissolved into darkness, and the artificial lights began to shine. The color of the landscape shifted as if the sky were bleeding into the rest of the world. Itadori walked through that night, passing the streetlights that dotted the city. The moon looked brighter than usual that night. Curses existed in this world. They filled human life to overflowing like a darkness that could swallow even shadow. Itadori couldn't exorcise all of them the way that the sunlight could. He was still a long way from shining even the faint light of the moon. But for one person, he might just be able to shine the way forward, like a streetlight. Kairi. Sure enough, Kairi Minato was there, at the same time in the same park, his gentle swinging causing the old metal to creak. Itadori, good evening. Yeah, hey. For a little while they left it at that. Itadori sat beside Kairi on the decrepit swing. When he touched the playground equipment, which was cold in the night air, a chill sunk into his bones. As this sensation swept through him, he gazed out at the park. It presented a forlorn scene. The only sounds were the chirping of insects in the grass and the creak of the swing. Itadori and Kairi swung gently, looking forward instead of at each other. Their rhythm was like a metronome, measuring the right time for broaching a subject. Finally, Itadori asked, "The demon's still at your house, right?" Kairi nodded without looking at his companion. "Probably. I think it's always there, at the house." Kairi's voice was soft, but exhibited an unyielding strength. His voice was low, as if he was reaffirming an immutable reality. "Your grandma told you about that demon," Itadori said gently. "Who told you that?" "Your mother." The resulting expression on Kairi's face was difficult to describe. He looked bitter, and also as if someone had prodded a wound. It was clearly an unpleasant topic for him, but Itadori continued talking. "Sorry if you don't like to call her mother. Seems like you heard they're not my real parents." "I should have noticed sooner, since the sign out front said Okazaki and not Minato." "I didn't mean to hide it, but I'm not used to my new name, so I said my old family name," Kairi said. "Yeah, I can understand that." Kairi was mumbling, like a scolded child. By contrast, Itadori's voice was buoyant and gentle. "Your grandmother taught you that demon shows up around bad children, right?" "Uh-huh," Kairi responded. "Why do you think that demon shows up?" A few moments stretched between his words. It wasn't because Kairi was at a loss for an answer, but because the answer was so clear he needed the courage to give it voice. Eventually, Kairi looked down as if to hide his face and answered, "Because I'm a bad kid." "How so?" "I'm not related to Mr. and Mrs. Okazaki by blood, but we lived in the same neighborhood and Grandma and I were friends with them. When Grandma died, I didn't have any relatives left, so Mr. and Mrs. Okazaki took me in. I don't think I should be there, though." "It's not that you don't want to be there?" Itadori said. "I'm not their family. They're just being considerate. They feed me and send me to school, but I'm afraid that I'm bothering them." "I see." For a little while, Itadori didn't say anything. He wasn't so much organizing his thoughts as taking the time to build up his determination. At last, he sighed deeply and spoke. "You put that curse there." Itadori looked directly at Kairi for the first time. "And since you put it there, only you can get rid of it." "Me? No, I can't. Anyway, what do you mean I put it there?" "What if your family's in danger?" The sound of swinging stopped. Kairi turned unsteady eyes on Itadori. They were full of a fear greater even than when he had looked upon the demon. "What do you mean?" "That demon is always stationed at your house, right? Maybe you're afraid it could attack Mr. and Mrs. Okazaki?" Itadori asked. "No way, it threatens me." "But the one it attacked was me. Can you guarantee it won't hurt someone else? After all, you do like the Okazakis, right?" "Well, your fear gave birth to that curse," Itadori explained. "If you want me to shut up, fine. But if you want to go home, you gotta work with me, before there's no place left for you to go home to." Itadori got off his swing and stood in front of Kairi. As a streetlight shone behind him like a spotlight, he extended his hand toward Kairi. "I hate to admit it, but I don't think I can beat that demon alone." Just then, the clock struck 9:30. Kairi took the hand that Itadori had offered and got off the swing. "Okay, alright, y'all. I'm trying to fix that. I don't know what to do about it. I'm so sick of saying y'all to y'all." Anyway, that's section 6 of chapter 5, Illusory Trek to the Guardian Demon, and I loved this section. The Yuta parallels are wild here. I never really considered what would have happened had Yuta not got it. Yuta kind of understood for himself that he was the one that created the Curse of Rika. That all sort of clicked for him on his own somewhere along the way. He's the one that brought it up to Gojo. Now, whether Gojo knew that Yuta had done this prior or not, I don't know if that's ever clarified. Either way, the situation with Kairi mostly makes me question what the role of a sorcerer is. I mean, we have our current protagonists, and it seems like the entire Jujutsu world, exists to eradicate curses, right? But if the only way to eradicate or unravel a curse is through the creator of the curse, the one who gave it birth, then are not Jujutsu sorcerers more like, an assigned companion for your curse unraveling journey type of a thing? I feel like they would probably serve society a lot better if they were assigned to specific cases based on personality and understanding of the scenario and helped the creator of the curse through things like this. Like, this is just your average everyday neighborhood curse, Just a subdivision B in a suburban area, middle class family, whatever. This is literally as average curses can get. And you can have Yuji, who is not only in hiding, but is also the lowest of the low genin on the list, assist this kid in curing his own curse. Maybe that's what sorcerers should be doing. Maybe that's the answer to all of this. Because if both sides are fighting for very vague things, Jujutsu sorcerers, what do they want? Things to go back to normal? Well, not Maki. Not Maki. Maki's like, nope. We got a new normal here. I'm just gonna kill this tradition real quick. Start fresh. And we've got a non-Zenin clan leader. That's kind of cool. Yuji is kind of cool. We've got a new age incoming. But I don't know if we've really defined that. What is the new age? What is sorcerership going to look like after this? And I know maybe that's stupid to think about right now because we're just like, after this? Yeah, after this. Cool. But what does the restoration plan look like? What is the role of a sorcerer in the new era? Apparently for Yuji, it looks like telling ill-timed your mama jokes, which I also thought was hilarious in this chapter. Now, last thing I'm going to say, and I don't know, I'm sure all of you heard it through the entire chapter in the back of your head. Yuji's a cog in the clock. See you next time.